Hey, administrators, how we doing out there? Just got back from Indiana Day up at Moose Heart, and while we know this year, man, I got some new glasses there, and there's really a glare on there, isn't there, from the light? I do apologize for that. We'll try to keep my face at a certain angle. Sorry about that. Um, but we had a really good turnout considering this year for uh, the situation of changing the date and people still being slightly scared of COVID, and we know some people didn't want to go up to Indiana Day because there was a mask mandate there. Um, Again, it comes down though to understanding, being informed sometimes. I get this a lot with a lot of Moose questions sometimes, but Gary Erweiler explained to us while we were up there that, besides the state having a mask mandate, the campus there has rules they have to abide by too, and I was kind of surprised by the numbers, but Gary informed us that even if two kids and or teachers, family, staff, parents, any of that kind of stuff, two people on the campus get COVID, the campus has to go on lockdown. So they're trying really hard for that not to happen. When we were around on our own, we were able to have masks off. Outside by ourselves, we were able to have masks off. But when we were around the kids, they wanted us to have their mask on. And I know how some people feel about that. But it was just for the protection of keeping them from having to deal with the headache of having lockdown. The program was great. The kids were glad to have us there. They got to perform. That was pretty cute. We did have about 150 Moose members. Almost a third of those people were first-timers. So we're really cool with that number. There was a potential member, someone who came that wasn't a member yet, but I bet after that day she will become a Moose member. We do have to do a better job in the future of getting lodges to participate, and we're going to work harder on working with district presidents and individual lodges on getting members to come up. It seems like people don't want to volunteer, or that they wait till the last minute, then they can't go. There's no reason why a lodge can't take a van and have a van rented, get a list of available hotel rooms that are up there. There's several hotels in the area. There's a couple that are very, very close and have reasonable rates. And again, this video is going out to administrators. The administrators have to be charged of that. Again, the president can set up a committee, can set up a chairperson. Let someone run that, someone that's been up there before and knows what's going on, and then do a fundraiser for that event. And then, because if that individual put everything together, pay for their way and pay for their room up there as a thank you for putting everything together and being, the tour person or the person who drove the van up there or what have you. Work together to make it an easier event for the lodge to come to. And again, I know it's a cliche, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Of course, cliches are cliches for a reason, because they're true. And if you get somebody to go up there to Moose Haven and they realize where their dues money is going towards, they're not gonna let their dues lapse. They're gonna stay current all the time, and that just helps with our retention. Also, I'll try to get through some of this information as quickly as possible. This video is probably going to run a little bit long just because I got to get some stuff out. Again, 990s for lodges. There are some of you haven't turned in your copy to the 990 chairman yet. Please do so. Again, I was busy last week. I'm going to start working on phone calls this week, and contacting you, and hopefully you have it done. You just forgotten to send it in, and we'll work together on that. Also, lodges that are not having enough member applications in their lodge, you order those from catalog sales. They are free, but they charge you shipping. Shipping can cost quite a bit for shipping. It's a little bit expensive. That's why at Moose International Conventions, when you're up at Indiana Day and on the campus, you can get free applications while you're there. If you go to the catalog sales and ask, they'll usually give you 2 or 3 packages per person, depending on the demand of people that are there. I came across a bunch of the old applications that I have that I travel with, and in my office I have quite a few. Those applications, you can still use them. If anybody's in need of applications, let me know, because I grabbed some while I was up at Indiana Day, but I've got a ton of the older ones that we need to get through. I hate to throw them away. I don't like to be wasteful. Now for fall convention at the Wyndham. Today is Monday. Tomorrow, the state secretary Dick Schuyler, Henry Carroll, and myself are going to go speak with the hotel. We've had some issues with them, and I know that you guys are chomping at the bit to know what's going on because I'm getting phone calls daily about what's going on. Registration should be done, and it should be going out very soon if it doesn't go out today. Again, it's going to be about the same as always. We do know there's going to be a couple of small changes with not with the agenda per se, but with the rooming situation. If anybody's been up there lately, they know that half the hotel or a portion of the hotel has been closed off for doing some things that the hotel is doing. Rooms may be at a premium. They may be low on rooms for the entire state to go there for a convention. So it's going to be first come first serve on that situation for getting the rooms. If the Wyndham does fill up, there are a few hotels that are there right there in the area that are close by. Yes, you'd have to drive. One you could walk to. If you guys have been there before, you remember the Ramada that used to be right across the street. It is now a Holiday Inn. Of course, we have no discounts with them, but they're closer. But then there's also a Comfort Inn and a La Quinta in the area. Now, let me be very clear. There are two La Quintas in the immediate area. If you're coming off of Lyndhurst, the La Quinta that is there right across from the Speedway, not the nicest hotel in the world. I wouldn't recommend going there unless you're at an absolute, have no other choice. The other hotels have filled up. I don't think that'll happen. The Comfort Inn is nice. It's a little bit further down the road, but we're talking like a quarter of a mile, not very far at all, but you would probably have to drive. And then back behind the Holiday Inn, there's also another La Quinta. I have no idea why there are two La Quintas within like 2 blocks of each other, but there is. It's been being renovated for a while now. It's a little bit nicer. And because they're doing renovations, actually they've had some discounts. I've stayed there a few times during my travels through Indianapolis recently. So look at that. Again, it's going to be first come, first serve. They are talking about hospitality rooms. It looks like now we'll know positively tomorrow. So don't take this for gospel yet. It looks like we probably will not have individual hospitality rooms for each district. We'll probably be doing one large room with the district, each district being able to have a table to do raffles and gaming to collect money to help cover cost. And then when it comes to the alcohol issue, it looks like the state may be asking districts and lodges to bring donations, and we may have a couple of stations to fix drinks. It won't be at each individual table. We won't do the rooms like we've done in the past. But we'll know that positively tomorrow. But people are asking about convention. Convention is happening. Again, there might be, rooms may be scarce to get into. Stay at the Wyndham. The Wyndham is looking at doing a big remodeling project before next year. So hopefully if we do decide to stay there and we're there in the spring, maybe we'll finally have a nice new hotel. We know it's been getting run down for a while. But as of right now, there's no mask mandate for our size for the state. We know that the governor said there will be no shutdown, so convention will definitely be happening. There could be a mask mandate. As of right now, there isn't, and I don't honestly foresee one now that we're only a month away, but you never know what could happen in 4 weeks. Something else we need to discuss is chapters, and I will be sending out an email to chapters. I talked to Grand Regent Cletus McManamall about this situation. We have chapters that are running their own raffles and doing their own half pots and such things in the lodges without, they don't have their own gaming license. They run the risk of getting themselves in trouble with the Indiana Gaming Commission. And I know lots of chapters said, well, we've been doing this for years. Well, they've been doing it wrong for years. And when the Indiana Gaming Commission kind of saw us as all together, they really didn't consider the chapters being separate from lodges. They really didn't get too technical on that. But as we know, this last year, for lots of different reasons, the IRS and the Gaming Commission is looking for money. Technically, chapters are a separate entity. They have their own EIN number, therefore they don't They're supposed to, if they're going to go do that kind of gaming, they would have to have their own gaming license, which we don't suggest chapters get their own gaming license, because we've had that happen a couple of times and it's been a big mess. The chapter, and again, I want to clarify women from men. Chapters cannot do their own raffles and pull tabs and 50/50s in the lodge without a gaming license. I'm not suggesting getting a gaming license. I'm suggesting they have to find other ways to raise revenue for the things that they're obligated to pay money for. And we've talked about the different types of fundraisers. I won't go down all those here. But along that same line, again, if those chapters and the lodges approve it, if there are women on the lodge's gaming license, there are things they can do, and there are ways to get money to the chapter for helping out. But one thing that we cannot do, and we've already had 3 chapters and lodges this year get in trouble for this, lodges can no longer, and really they should have never been doing it to start with, but we were doing it, nobody was getting in trouble. They cannot, and I repeat, cannot write a check out of their gaming to the women's chapter, because they are not a true 50c3 charity. They are a 50c8 non-for-profit, just like the lodge, and so they cannot be writing gaming checks to them. It's not allowed to happen. We've got to put a stop to that. Like I said, an email will be going out to the chapters reminding them this. We've talked to the Indiana Gaming Commission. They're even going to have a letter. We're going to cover this in more depth during the convention and reminding the chapters they can't do that. Because here's where I start to get upset and where I will start getting involved. I normally stay out of chapter issues unless I have to or I'm told I need to go in and get involved. But if a chapter is doing something illegal, and that brings the Gaming Commission in, and the Gaming Commission is there to, slap the chapter for doing something wrong, while they're there in the lodge, they're going to start going through the lodge stuff also. They're going to go through your records. Why not? They're already there. They're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If the Gaming Commission wants, they can almost always find something wrong in a chapter, in a lodge. And I just don't want them having any reason to have to come to the lodge. So we've got to crack down on that. I'm working with Cletus to talk more to chapters and make them realize they can't do gaming on their own, the risk they run in the lodge, and other forms of fundraisers they can do for revenue for things they need to raise money for. Okay, there we go. Oh, also I skipped one thing. Since we were talking about raffles and whatnot, for the Indiana Moose Association for the convention, everybody should have their 50/50s and their tickets for French Lick. We need to be getting those sold pretty soon. There probably will be a deadline coming out soon from the Ways and Means Committee saying when they have to be turned in if you're not going to the convention. You can bring the check and the tickets to convention with you, so those can be turned in. If for some reason your lodge can't make it, you need to mail those tickets and the funds to the Ways and Means chairperson, which is still Ann O'Neill. Ann and Carl O'Neill were doing it in the past. We all know, unfortunately, Carl passed away, and that was a sad thing. But Ann has been willing to step up and going to continue being the chairperson and going to keep doing that. So we appreciate that from Ann. But if you're not going to convention, then you need to mail those out at least 2 weeks in advance, because we know we've had trouble with the post office and things getting there late. So we need to give that time to get to her so she can take them to convention. If you want to look at alternate routes, getting those tickets to your district president. The last couple weeks I'll be out. If I'm going to be at your lodge and you want to give them to me, I can make sure they get there also. But again, if you're not going to be at the convention, we need to get those to someone soon enough so they end up at convention and those people's money doesn't just go to waste. We realized that there was a district that fell through and the lodges didn't get their tickets till late. If you are a lodge and you do not have the tickets and or the posters, please get a hold of me and we'll get you some, although we're in crunch time now. But there is the Super 50/50, which we normally always have, and then the giveaways, the getaway to French Lick also. So there should be 2 posters, and you should have 2 sets of tickets. There was an email that went out recently on those from the state secretary that the Indiana Municipal Association gaming license didn't get put on those posters. If you have those posters up, we need to make sure we get those the gaming license number on those. And if you have any more questions about that, feel free to give me a call. One last thing is Rusty Shields, our training coordinator, who's also our 990 chairman, has talked with Speedway 500, and it looks like Friday morning of convention they will have a QuickBooks Online training course. I don't really want to call it a training course for one reason. It's not accredited. It's not a too hot class. It's just mostly Q&A about QuickBooks Online. We still have lots of chapters that are having trouble. They don't know how to get onto QuickBooks Online. They're not understanding how they're having trouble with the QuickBooks Online. Just figuring out where things are at, how to write a check, how to make deposits in there. So you're going to be able to come. There'll be more details about the exact hours. I just know it's probably going to be Friday morning up till before lunchtime, because there's a state officer's luncheon on Friday that he will have to be at and won't be able to be there. So it'll be probably a quick crash course on how to get in and a few other things, and mostly questions and answers, though, after that. Again, that officially will come out, but if you're having trouble with QuickBooks Online, this is going to be a good time for you to go and ask questions. That is it. I know I took up a whole lot more time than I normally do, and I do apologize for that. You guys all have a good day. I appreciate you all. We'll talk to you soon.